We got Oliveira versus Bautista this Saturday, and this card has a few matchups that aren't as clear as they look. Here's my full card breakdown and prediction for every single fight on this card. Kicking off the early prelims, we have Cachoeira versus Sagula. Cachoeira she's on the older side. She's 30, I think 37 years old. Um, she has power in her hands. It shows she has 8 knockout wins with 4 submission losses. She is susceptible to grappling, but she's a great striker. She in her last win against Josie Nunez had a nice uppercut, which put Nunez out cold. There's no ground and pound needed for that. But her most recent fight, August, got knocked out in the first round by Jocelyn Edwards. Jocelyn Edwards is actually a pretty good fighter, so that's not a terrible loss. But she's again on the older side at 37 years old, has been finished a ton. Like her last 3 wins, her last 4 losses are all finishes, all of them by submission, except one actually, sorry. 3 submission losses and 1 knockout losses in her 4 last losses. But she has power. She's tough. On the other side, we got Saigula, who's 1-1 in the UFC, coming off a win against Irana Alexieva, she's not the best either, so it's obviously not a good win either. But like, it was her second fight in the UFC. Her first fight, she was ground and pounded by Melissa Mullins. Melissa Mullins had a great performance in that fight. Um, I really don't know who to pick here. Cachoeira, there's definitely a world where Cachoeira wins, but I'm gonna lean Sagula. I think she's gonna be able to mix in some grappling if she wants to, and I think just the younger woman advantage, 10 years younger. She's gonna be faster, quicker, and I just think the more technical fighter in this matchup. But Cachoeira does have power, so I could see a world where Cachoeira wins, but I am gonna go with Sagula in this matchup. So give me Sagula by decision, I'm going to say. And this is a tough one to predict. We have Jacob Wiklax versus Marine Gafarov. Wiklax obviously took a fight again. I think it was short notice, I'm pretty sure, against Patchy Mix. Um he got a split decision win, but I mean, you could definitely argue that Patchy Mix was able to win that fight, but it went the side of Jacob Wiklax. He is a great grappler. He has 10 submission wins, I believe. Let me see here. Yeah, 10 submission wins, no knockout wins, and 7 decision wins. He loves to get on the guillotine any chance he gets. If you go for a takedown, he is going to jump on the guillotine. He's going to do anything to try to attempt the guillotine. He had, I think, 3 attempts against Patchy Mix. Um, Murin Gafarov 10 knockout wins, 7 submission wins, and most of his losses coming by decision with 5 of them, but 1 submission loss, but that is against Saeed Nurmagomedov, who arguably has one of the best like no guillotine or ninja chokes. I think I'm pretty sure he has the most guillotine submissions in the UFC, but Murin Gafarov is coming off a great performance against Rinya Nakamura, Murin Gafarov was a huge underdog in that fight. I'm pretty sure he was like almost plus 400, maybe plus 500, and he dominated. He was dropping Rinya Nakamura multiple times and stopping the takedowns from Rinya Nakamura. And this is honestly a close fight. Tapology has it where 75% of the people are on Jacob Wiklax, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. This one's hard to predict. I am going to lean Wayne Gafarov here. I just think he's going to be the better striker. He's going to be defensively sound against someone like Jacob Wiklax. Gafarov has good ground and pound. Jacob will take shots to try to go for like a submission attempt. If he rolls for like a heel, he is going to leave. He lets himself get hit in the head trying to do that. I don't think that's a good idea against someone like Murin Gafarov. We have seen Murin Gafarov submitted, but again, that is from Said Nurmagomedov, who has one of the best guillotines in my opinion. And I'm just not sure why there's so much people on Jacob Wiklax and the odds are so close, which I don't really like because they're minus 110 on each side, and there's almost 75% of the people on Jacob Wiklax. So for that reason, I am going to lean Murin Gafarov here. I am I'm gonna say he gets a decision win. I don't think he's definitely not gonna be able to submit Wicklax. I think he's gonna be a better striker. He's gonna edge out the rounds. I think he's gonna stay defensively sound on the ground. So I'm gonna go with Murin Gafurov here by decision. But this is a very close fight, but I'm very interested to see how this plays out. And then we have a fight between Kong Wang and Edmund Mora. Um, Kong Wang, obviously an incredible striker. She is on back-to-back wins. She has been submitted once against Gabriel Fernandez, but it's not like she got taken down and just mauled on the ground. It was a big shot, and I think it was like a head kick. I think that dropped her, and then Gabriel Fernandez jumped on the neck right away, instantly. She beat Bruno Brazil, Ariane Lipsy de Silva, and Kong Wei is an amazing striker. She's light on her feet. She holds power. She beat Valentina Shevchenko twice. I believe so. I'm pretty sure it was twice. But um, on the other side, we got Eduarda Mora, who she's a great finisher. 4 knockout wins, 5 submission wins. She likes to go for the takedowns. In her last fight against Denise Gomez, she lost with 5 takedowns in that fight, I believe. Denise Gomez has proven to be pretty good. She's on a 4-fight win streak. But I'm gonna lean Kong Wang here. I think she's gonna be lighting up on her feet. She's gonna be lighting up at Mora on the feet. I don't think there's Kong Wang is levels above Mora on the feet. Um, and I think Mora is eventually gonna start shooting desperately, wasting her energy, getting tired, and Kong Wang's just gonna be able to stop the takedown. She's gonna have good footwork, I believe. And I think she's going to get a decision win, but I could definitely see maybe like a late round 2, round 3 knockout for Kong Wang if Mora is struggling to get the takedowns and Kong Wang is just piecing her up on the feet. So I'm going to go with Kong Wang here I'm going to say decision, but I could definitely see like I said, a late knockout for her. So give me Kong Wang in this matchup. Okay, so Saeed Nurmagomedov is out of his fight with Javid Bashra, and stepping in on like 2 days' notice is Gianni Vasquez. Gianni is a striker with 4 knockout wins. He has 3 submission wins and 6 decision wins. Um, um, I really don't know what to say. I didn't look too much into this guy, but he doesn't have the greatest ground game. He's more comfortable on the feet, picking his shots. Aguirre Shirez submitted him. Um, I don't really have much to say, but Javid Bashra, obviously, he's a good striker, likes to pick his shots. He has a good grappling game too, with 6 submission wins. And I'm gonna take Bashra here. I just think this is a way higher level step up in competition for Gianni Vasquez, whose greatest opponent before this was Edgar Shirez, technically, because yeah, Edgar Shirez, who submitted him. Um, I'm gonna take Javid Bashra here. I'm gonna take him to win by submission, honestly. That might be a little bit of a long shot because we know Javid Bashra is not the greatest finisher in the UFC whatsoever. But I don't know. Yeah, give me Bashra to give Gianni Vasquez another submission loss in this matchup. I'm gonna say round round 1 or 2. I think I'm really not sure. No, I'd say round 2 or round 3. I think Gianni's gonna come out hot. And then I don't think his cardio is gonna be there for 3 rounds if he's taking this on 2 days' notice. So give me Gianni Vasquez. No, sorry, give me Javid Bashra in this fight by submission. But it wouldn't be surprise me if it goes to a decision at all. So give me Javid Bashra in this fight. And then this one I've been back and forth on. We have Bruna Brazil versus Ketlin Souza. Bruna Brazil obviously training with the Fighting Nerds. Um, she likes to play her range and at the kickboxing range. She can definitely mix in some of her grappling, but it's not her strong suit. Um, but her record is like win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. She beat Ming Shi on the road to UFC a couple months ago, and before that was beat by Kong Wang. She had a great performance against Molly McCann, really hurting her to the body with knees. Um, it's kind of hard to say. Bruna Brazil, when she's on her game, she's very good, but she's kind of inconsistent, which I don't really like. On the other hand, we have Ketlin Souza, who is a heavy, heavy hitter, which has 8 knockout wins. She has been She has 6 losses, 2 coming by knockout, 2 by submission, 2 by decision, so she can lose, like, every way. She's coming off back-to-back losses against Piera Rodriguez and Angela Hill, both of them being split decisions. Before that, beating Yasmin, Yargui, don't know if I said that right, which is not a that's actually a pretty good win. She was an 11-1 at the time. Um, I'm gonna lean Bruna Brazil here in this fight. I just think she's gonna be the better fighter. Her training with fighting urge, I think, is going to help. Um, but this is gonna be close. If she's on her game and stays at the kickboxing range, she is going to win this fight, I believe. So for those reasons, give me Bruna Brazil here, and I'm gonna say by decision because I don't really see any of them getting finished. But I don't know. But give me Bruna Brazil in this matchup, and by decision. Then we have Nico Price taking on Nikolai Veretennikov, and both these fighters are taking this fight on short notice, I'm pretty sure. I think one stepped in for someone, and then the other person pulled out, and then they both kind of matched up against each other, taking it on short notice. Veretennikov, he's a great striker, 9 knockout wins. Um, he's not the greatest grappler. He's kind of like new to that because he's coming from kickboxing, I believe. Um, he put up a good fight against Juan Healy Soriano, and in that fight, which he lost, he got a split decision win over Francisco Prado, which is an okay win. He's not the greatest either. He got beat by Austin Vanderford by ground and pound, which is pretty brutal. Then that Danny Barlow fight was so boring. It was like a staring contest, which he lost by split decision, which that fight was not great. Nico Price, on the other hand, had 10 knockout wins, some 3 submission wins. He is on a losing streak quite a bit. He's lost, loss, win, loss, loss, win, loss, no contest, loss. He got strangled by Jacoby Smith. That was kind of an obvious loss. Jacoby Smith is like undefeated prospect. Themba Grimbo, he lost. He did not look good in that fight either. Took Alex Morono to a decision. I'm pretty sure he was an underdog there. Yeah, he was around plus 240 underdog. Um, Before that, got knocked out in 40 seconds against Robbie Lawler. Got knocked out by Phil Rowe. I mean, this guy's getting up there in age too. He's only 36. I thought he'd be way older than that. Veretennikov, 36 too. Oh, I did not. I thought Veretennikov was younger. But I'm going to go Veretennikov here. I think he's a better striker. And I just don't see a big threat on the side of Nico Price. Obviously, he has some finishing ability, but I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue here, or the grappling Nico Price is not going to be an issue against Veretennikov. So I'm going to go Veretennikov here. I'm going to pick him to win by knockout. I think he should be able to get a Nico Price out of there, who has been knocked out 5 times before. So give me Veretennikov by knockout in this fight. I'm going to say in the first 2 rounds, and if it goes past the second round, I think it's gonna go decision. But I think he's gonna get the knockout within under like 2.5 rounds. So give me Veretennikov by knockout in this fight against Nico Price. And then we have Alex Morono taking on Daniil Donchenko. And Donchenko is a brutal striker, 8 knockout wins, 2 submission wins. But this guy, he uses elbows, knees. He's going in there to hurt you. Um, He's coming off like a UFC debut, which it was like the Ultimate Fighter final against Rodrigo Cezinando, which he knocked him out in the first round. But this guy is great, great striker. Um, his wrestling is not the greatest. He does have some, but it is not the greatest. But he makes up for it in his striking. He is brutal. He's going in there to hurt you. On the other hand, Alex Morono, who is a high level jujitsu, like I'm talking black belt, but like I forget what he is, but I know it's higher than a black belt, like with stripes or whatever. But he is like a moron when he fights. He does not use it. He got brutalized by Carlos Leal in the first round. Had a split decision with D Rod, then lost to Nico Price. He beat Court McGee, but like, is that really a great win? No. Lost to Buckley. Submitted to Means. Like this guy has a path to win and is to get the fight to the ground right away. But I don't think he's gonna. I can't trust him to do that because of his fight IQ. He doesn't want to use his grappling. So for those reasons, I'm gonna go Danilo Donchenko to knock him out probably in the first or late first, early second round. I think he's just gonna back. He's gonna back up Morono and just throw everything he has, elbows. If he gets into a clinch, hooks. But I think he's gonna get Morono out of there because I don't. Yeah. So for these reasons, I think Donchenko gets him out. 24, young prospect. I can't choose against Donchenko here. So give me John Donchenko to get the knockout over Morono, and I think he's gonna get it late first or the early second round. He's gonna get Alex Morono slept. So give me Donchenko by knockout. In this one, I've been a little back and forth. We have just Dustin Jacoby, I think. Yeah, Dustin Jacoby. He is an amazing striker. 14 knockout wins, back-to-back knockout wins against Vito Petrino, which he slept him, and Bruno Lopez. But this guy's been fighting like just strikers in his last couple matchups, like Bruno Lopez, striker, Vito Petrino, striker, Dominic Reyes, striker, Alonso Menefield, striker, Kennedy Nzechukwu, striker, Asmat Murzakanov, striker, Khalil Rountree. Like this guy has just been fighting stylistic matchups that he is comfortable with, like in the striking. On the other hand, Julius Walker, 7-1. He's fairly new to the UFC. This is his third fight. His first fight, taking Alonso Menefield to a split decision, and then beating Rafael Corquera. Rafael Corquera is terrible, but anyways, but Julius Walker is going to go for the takedowns over and over and over again. He is very athletic. I am pretty sure he had a basketball career before he started MMA. Like he debuted pro MMA in 2023, but he is great athletically. He's gonna keep fighting. Like in the Alonzo Menefield fight, he was gassed because he took it on short notice, but he kept going forward. But he is going to go for the takedowns on Dustin Jacoby, and with Jacoby not facing anyone that's going to keep going for the takedowns, I think this is going to throw him off guard and striking too. And we've seen on the regional scene, um, Julius Walker finishing people on the ground. Like his first one, two, three, four, five, six fights were all finishes in the first round, and one in the second by submissions and ground and pound. I think he's just going to keep going for the takedowns on Jacoby. He's going to wear out Jacoby. He's going to get the fights to the ground. And I think he is going to finish Dustin Jacoby in this fight. I think he's going to blend some ground and pound. And I think Jacoby might be able, he's going to have to give up his back or something. And Walker's going to look for the submission. If not, I think he's just going to get him out on. I think he's just going to finish him on the ground, whether it's ground and pound or Jacoby has to give up his neck or his back. Obviously, this is a huge step up in competition for Walker against someone like Cuera in his last fight. But I am going to go with Julius Walker to get the finish here, and I think he's going to get it within the first 2 rounds. So give me Julius Walker by knockout or submission. Then we have Gene Matsumoto taking on Farid Bashrat. This is his second Bashrat brother. Like we talked about before, Javid Bashrat earlier on the card. But I'm a big fan of Gene Matsumoto. I love watching his fights. I like his style. Um, he's 17-1. He has a great record. Fourth, this is his fifth fight in the UFC. He's 3-1. Only his only loss coming to a split decision against Rob Font, which you could argue he won that fight. It was very close. And then a split decision to Miles Johns, which is not best look either. Um, he was losing that Dan Arguida fight. Well, that was only in the second round, but he got a submission in like the last second guillotine. On the other hand, Farid Bashra undefeated, 14-0, six submission wins, only one knockout, and the rest going by decision. This is his sixth UFC fight, and he's just beating all these guys by unanimous decision. And some decent wins here. Damon Blackshear, that's a pretty good win. That guy's great. Ground game, Taylor Lapilus is actually not that bad of a win either. Taylor Lapilus is 23-4, and he's on a four-fight win streak in the PFL, and two of them being in the UFC. Um, Victor Hugo, he was a big favorite, but Victor Hugo was like 25-4 at that time. Yeah, he has a great, and he was on like a, oh my gosh, he was on like a 12-fight win streak before that. But he was a huge favorite in that fight, Basharat. I just think Farid Basharat is gonna be better on the feet, training with the American top team. Gene Matsumoto, I do not like his defense. He is very hittable, and I think that is not gonna be good in this fight. He's gonna get picked apart by Basharat. And I think even Basharat, if he wants to, he could get the takedowns. I really don't see Matsumoto just controlling. Just I don't really see where he could win. Like he could go for takedowns, but I don't see him holding down Basharat the whole time. And I don't see him really winning the striking exchanges. And I'm a big Matsumoto fan, but I'm gonna have to pick Basharat here. I'm gonna take him by decision. I just think he's going to be the better fighter, striking wise. He's going to be able to deal with grappling, and I think if Basharat wants to, he can actually use his own grappling and take Matsumoto down. So give me Farid Basharat in this fight, and I think it's going to be like a maybe a 29-28, but I could see a 30-27 for Basharat here. Then we have Mikhail Oleksiejczuk taking on Marc-Andre Barriault. Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, he is a great striker. He has a very hard hitting left hand. He has 16 knockout wins in his 21 wins. Um, he does not have the greatest grappling. He has been submitted 6 times, but he's coming on back-to-back knockout wins. Not against the greatest competition like Gerald Mearshart and Cedric Dumas. And before that, he was on a 3-fight losing streak to Michel Pereira. He knocked down Kevin Holland and then just got put in an armbar right away. And then Shar Magomedov, he was winning some exchanges in that Shar Magomedov fight though. Knocked out Chidi Njokuani, which is actually not a terrible win. But Marc-Andre Barriault, on the other hand, he is a he's a brawler. He has 11 knockout wins too. He does have some grappling in his back pocket, I guess, but like it's not like he's just gonna get the takedowns at will. Um, he is 6-9 in the UFC, and he is looking rough in his past few fights. He did have a decent fight against Shar Magomedov. He knocked out Bruno Silva, which Bruno Silva is like a dead man walking. Got knocked out against Dustin Stolfus. Got knocked out by Joe Pyfer. Both those knockouts were bad. He was out cold. Um, I think Mikhail Oleksiejczuk has been looking great in his past few fights, training with the fighting nerds. And I think he's just going to knock out Marc-Andre Barriault here. I don't think it's going to be that close. I think it's going to be round 1-2. I think he's just going to push the pace on Marc-Andre Barriault, and I feel like the first couple exchanges, if Oleg Jacek lands clean with that left hand, he is going to put Marc-Andre Barriault out cold. Yeah, I don't really see it going any other way, to be honest. I don't see Barriault trying to grapple Oleg Jacek. I don't really see Barriault knocking down Oleg Jacek at all. I don't really see it going any other way than Oleg Jacek knocking him out within minimum 2 rounds at least. I'd be surprised if it goes to the third round. But I think Oleg Jacek gets him out of there in the first round. the first couple exchanges, I think he's gonna land clean, and I don't think Barrel's chin is anywhere close to good at all. So give me a leg J shake here by knockout pretty confidently, honestly. Then we have Gelton Almeida taking on Rizvan Kuniev. Almeida opened up as like a minus 500 in this fight, and it's down to like minus like I think maybe 180, minus 150, somewhere along those lines, which is crazy, crazy odds changes. Gelton Almeida, obviously, he is looking to get the fight to the ground as quick as possible. He's this guy's a ton of finishes, a ton of first round finishes too, but he can be very, very like too patient, like against Volkov, just literally just sitting there, not doing like anything, which I don't really like. Like if he's not going for submissions, he doesn't really offer a threat. I mean, he does with ground and pound, but sometimes he just doesn't want to use it. Uh, Split decision loss to Volkov. A lot of people called it a robbery. It was a very close fight. Knockout survey Spivak. He was hurting him on the feet and got um back mount and just laid down shots. Submitted Romanov in the first round. Romanov is actually a good grappler. He competes outside of the UFC grappling. He lost to Curtis Blades. That was a weird one. He took him down like 10 times in that first round and then did like nothing and then beat Derek Lewis. That was like the worst fight probably ever. But Kuniev on the other hand, he was caught using PEDs in PFL, which his win over Renan Ferreira turned to a no contest. And his physique has not looked it has clearly downgraded from what it was before. He lost to Curtis Blades. It was a split decision. Curtis Blades had a lot of control time against like the fence, and he had 5 minutes of control time, I believe. 5 minutes, 21 seconds of control time. Curtis Blades went 2 for 15 on takedowns attempts in that fight, but I mean, yeah, I think Gelton's gonna take this. I think so much people are on Kuniev just because they hate Almeida. I can very see why. I can really see why people don't like Almeida, but I do think he's gonna be much quicker because he is not a fat blob in the heavyweight division. He doesn't weigh that much for like a true heavyweight. And I think if Almeida gets on top, maybe I could see some ground and pound, but like it's Almeida, I can't really trust him either. So this is gonna be a sort of a low confident pick, but also do think he gets it done. So I'm gonna take Almeida here. I really don't know how he's gonna win. Like if it's gonna be knockout, submission, or decision. I'm gonna lean a knockout. I just think if he gets like back mounts or something and he's just gonna rain down shots and maybe go for the neck, but I think he could just keep laying down shots and get Kuniev out of there. So I'm gonna go Almeida inside the distance, I guess. So I do think he wins this fight. I'm just really not sure how. So, but give me Almeida in this matchup. Then we have Amir Albazi, whatever, taking on Kyoji Hiraguchi. Kyoji Hiraguchi obviously made his return to the UFC, dominated Tagir Ulanbekov and submitted him in the third round. His only loss in the UFC coming to Demetrius Johnson, which is not a bad loss at all whatsoever. He did lose a patchy mix on in Bellator, but he's on a 4 fight win streak. He's a great striker. He dominated Tagir in that fight, just destroying him pretty much everywhere the fight went. He was 14-1 in Ryzen, which is pretty crazy, honestly. He has 15 knockout wins, 14 decision wins. This guy's well rounded. On the other hand, Amir Albazi, um, this guy, it's hard to say. He was out a while for injury and like his neck. I'm pretty sure got dominated by Brandon Moreno. He didn't really have any moments in that fight at all. He couldn't get no takedowns. He was losing striking. Won to Kaikar France. That was a very, very controversial decision. I think you could have given that to Kaikar France any day of the week. Knocked out Alessandro Costa, which was a good one. Kinda. He's kinda iffy now. Um, but other than that, He doesn't really have much wins that are great. He is a good grappler. He just didn't have. I really think he just had a very bad performance against Brandon Moreno, returning after almost like a year and 10 months, maybe it was. Um, Kyoji, he did have a great performance, but Tagi also had like a terrible, terrible weight cut in that fight, and I don't know. I know Hiraguchi's a great fighter. I'm just not sold on him yet. I'm not sure why. He is an insane fighter, but I just have a feeling Amir Abazi is gonna show up. I don't think he's gonna. I think Hiraguchi's gonna win, but I do think Albazi is going to make it a fight. I think Amir Abazi definitely takes a round off Hiraguchi, but I'm just not sure if he's gonna be able to get the win. But I do think he's gonna look a lot better than people are thinking. Amir Albazi in this fight, so I'm gonna go with Hiraguchi here. But I'm I'm expecting Amir Albazi to put up a good fight, honestly. So give me Hiraguchi, but I hope and I think Amir Albazi will put up a fight. So I'm gonna be cautious. I know Hiraguchi's a big favorite, but I don't know, I'm trusting my guy. I think Amir Albazi is gonna show he is pretty good. He just didn't have a great performance last fight. I could be totally wrong, and he's just terrible. So we'll see. But yeah, give me Higuchi, like I said before. For the main event of UFC Fight Night, we have Mario Bautista taking on Vinicius Oliveira. Vinicius Oliveira, great striker, very unorthodox. Like he's pretty wild in there, like flying knees, just going for a lot. He has 16 knockout wins, 2 submission wins. He's 4-0 in the UFC. Bernardo Stopage was a pretty good fighter, but he took the fight in short notice. Ricky Simone, he's okay. He's not. He's like an average fighter. Said Nurmagomedov, that was a good win for Vinicius Oliveira. And Kyler Phillips, I am not a big fan of him whatsoever. And he got a decision win there. Vinicius Oliveira is big. Like he said, he had to cut like 23 kilograms, which is almost like 50 pounds, I think, in like 2 or 3 days, which I don't like at all. But it's because he's so big in this division. Mario Batista, on the other hand, 16-3. Um, he was on quite the win streak. He had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight win streak before losing Umar Nurmagomedov, but Umar would dominate Vinicius Oliveira anyways. Uh, Mario Batista stopped the hype train of Patchy Mix, his UFC debut. Beat Jose Aldo to decision, split decision. A lot of people thought Jose Aldo won that. I do think Batista was able to edge out that last round. Beat Ricky Simone, just like Vinicius Oliveira. Devon Blackshear is not a bad loss, but Batista, he is he is a much more technical fighter here. Like hands up, um, he is a little predictable just because how technical he is. Like he's not going to do anything wild or anything. He has an elite ground game, good scrambles. He does have good jujitsu as well, and he has the cardio for these type of fights. Vinicius Oliveira, I think cutting all that weight, if he's going to be unorthodox, you could say, hands to his hips, going for stupid stuff, just wasting energy. I really do think Vinicius Oliveira is going to fade in this fight come the third, fourth round, I really do think he's going to slow down. And that's where Mario Batista is going to pick up the pace. He's going to keep going. He's not going to slow down. So I'm taking Mario Batista here. Like I said, Vinicius Oliveira has to cut almost like 50 pounds, which is horrible. I think that's going to definitely show. And he's not going to have the greatest, obviously, cardio or durability. So I think Mario Batista gets this done. I am going to take him here by finish. I think if Oliveira's fading, Batista's gonna be able to get those takedowns if he wants. He's gonna be landing cleaner strikes. He has elite jiu-jitsu we have seen um with 6 submission wins. So I'm gonna take Batista here by inside the distance. I think in round 3, 4, or 5, he is gonna get it done. So Batista by knockout or submission in round 3, 4, or 5. That is my UFC Fight Night Vinicius Oliveira versus Batista full card predictions. I'm going to be posting a video tomorrow of the best props for this fight. that I'm most confident in. So make sure you don't miss that video that would be uploaded tomorrow. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.